Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. Oh my gosh, you guys, how about this freaking lip combo? I feel so cute right now. Obviously, you can see from the title, it's gonna be more of a holiday themed video, but I didn't want to just stick with like the classic holiday red lip, even though I love that. It's a classics are classics for a reason, but also as you can see from the title, we're doing something grungy today, so I wanted to do a grungy red lip. And it reminded me a lot of when I did my Nancy Downs look from the craft video back in 2021. If you've been here, hello, thank you for sticking with me. But yeah, when I was thinking of a grungy red, I immediately thought of my Nancy Downs lip, so I wanted to recreate that, and I now have an actual black lip liner from Revolution Makeup, so I use the Midnight Kiss black liner, which I will say, not the smoothest lip liner I've used, but I've also never found a smooth black lip liner before. So if you know one, let me know. But it got the job done, you know, and I like that I can sharpen it. It's like an actual pencil liner. And then I went in with the KVD Beauty Vinyl Lip Lacquer in the shade Hollyhock, which is like one of my favorite lips ever. And I just love them together. I feel so cute, so grunge, so holiday, but that's not what this video is about. Haven't done one of those in a minute, but you know, you didn't click on this video to find out what cute fall grunge winter grunge lip combo I'm wearing today. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in the Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette. I am so excited about this eyeshadow palette and trying it out here today because the way they explained it in the brief that they sent me is that it's meant to be like a grunge holiday palette, which is so fun and unique. I don't know, I feel like every year when it comes to holiday releases, we see kind of the same thing, you know, things are moving more towards like intellectual property collabs. You see people doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer collabs, Peanuts collabs, and those are great, and they're always filled with like your classic red and green and gold colors and your neutrals, but I just feel like this stands out to me. Like, this is the most unique holiday palette I've seen in a while. I love the deep grungy purples. I love the deep shades of red and green. They didn't go with your classic red and green colors, and I love that. So today we're gonna be doing a grungy Christmas look, grungy holiday look. I'm probably gonna play with the reds and greens just because I have like a clear vision in my head of grunge Christmas colors, and then I maybe wanna put like a little silver in the center. Obviously we'll add some graphic liner too, but Beauty Bay also was kind enough to send me their brushes with the collection. There's more brushes than just this. I'm not gonna use them all today. But yeah, so we're gonna use these brushes too. Not my first time using the brushes. I have historically liked Beauty Bay brushes, but they also sent an eyeliner brush that looks like it can be used with water activated liner that I'm very skeptical of. I don't know, it doesn't look like it's gonna be my jam. I just, for some reason, like this space between the top of the brush and the actual bristle, I'm like, how is that gonna be comfortable? But you know I'm gonna give it a try for you here today. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you, I don't know why I'm dancing like this, but if that sounds like a topic that's interesting to you, I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching because it's coming at you right now. So like I said, I definitely want to play with like these grungy green, and I'm pointing to the wrong ones, the grungy red and green shades, and maybe do like a little bit of something shimmery in the middle, and you know it's gonna be a graphic shape because that's what I like to do, you know? I spent a long time being like, ugh, doing the graphic shapes is such a cop-out just because I don't want to learn how to blend and I don't really like blending, but you know what? It's what I like to do. That's really all it matters when it comes to makeup. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm using the Beauty Bay eye primer too. I love this when it comes to eyeshadow. It's kind of just like a P. Louise type of base, you know, like a nice concealer base, but it's sticky. Let's take red in the inner corner. This is something that used to be so foreign to me back when I was first getting into makeup, and especially when I was first getting into eyeshadow. I just really got it in my head, probably from watching like old 2016 makeup YouTube tutorials, that like you had to put a light color on the inner corner, a medium tone in the middle, and then your deepening shade had to be on the outside. And if you told me like 2 years ago that I would be putting like dark shades like this in my inner corner, I would have been like, what? No, you can't do that. That's not allowed. There's no rules in makeup though. That's what I would grab my old self by the shoulders and say, and I'd tell her, there's no rules in makeup. You don't gotta worry so much. Why are you worried so much? If you're someone who's new to makeup, that would be my biggest advice for you, is like take all of the rules that you think there are about makeup and just throw them out the window. Just forget about them because there are no rules. Especially, like, I'm not a professional makeup artist. I'm not doing makeup on other people. I thought about going to cosmetology school before. Those of you who have been with me for a while probably remember my cosmetology school phase, but I talked to a lot of people about it. It turns out you have to learn a lot about hair, which not that I don't love hair stuff, but I don't want to cut hair. I don't want to color hair, so that's why I didn't end up going through with that. But yeah, I am not licensed. I am just doing makeup on myself, and I'm just doing it for fun. All right, I'm feeling very Halloween already. I think it's just the nature of grungy makeup, and of course, naturally, I had to make it very graphic, but I'm feeling very Halloween. But I think after we add this deep evergreen gorgeous shade, I'm gonna feel a little bit more holiday. But I'm now realizing what's gonna happen when I mix green and red. Although I feel like this red on camera, this like deep maroon, is pulling kind of purpley. I feel like we're gonna end up with a purpley shade in the middle. But one thing I do know about Beauty Bay's formula that is proving to be true in this palette as well is that these shades blend together like butter. This formula is just like so consistent through and through. Every palette I've ever tried from Beauty Bay, the first palette I ever bought from them, by the way, was the Wilderness palette, which was only like last summer. Kind of crazy to think about. And now Beauty Bay sends me PR, which is so cool. I don't know if I mentioned, I'm sorry, I got this palette in PR. Thank you so much, Beauty Bay. That was super sweet of you. No obligation to post or anything. But yeah, like I just, as soon as I tried them for the first time, I fell in love. That Wilderness palette, I believe I named as my favorite palette of 2021, which I'm gonna do a video reacting to my 2021 makeup favorites soon, because those are always some of my favorite holiday videos to do. But yeah, clearly I'm a big fan of Beauty Bay's formula, and a lot of that had to do with how well they blend together, because as I mentioned earlier in this video, I am not queen of blending. I've definitely gotten a lot better over the years. I'm not trying to like talk down on myself or anything. It's just not my favorite thing to do. So when there's eyeshadows that just blend themselves, essentially, like these Beauty Bay ones do, I really couldn't be more grateful, because I do not want to do the work myself. So initially I thought I was just gonna do the red and green shade, but now I'm like, I got all this space out here. I got all this space on the wing, so I think maybe I'll do a black shade on the outer corner for my graphic winged part. There's a matte black in this palette, but there's also a sparkly black too. Like we have the shade Dark Matter, that's just your classic black. But then we have the shade, what's the name? Virtual, which is so pretty. I can't tell if it's supposed to be a shimmer or a sequin. I think it might supposed to be a sequin. Ooh, but it's kind of looking satiny. Maybe I'll go in with the matte black first and then add a touch of this afterwards, because I think I want to use both. All right, so adding a little bit of that matte black shade, Dark Matter. Beauty Bay just gets it with the black shades. It's so deep. You know how sometimes you put on black eyeshadow, like bad black eyeshadow formulas, and it's just like gray and patchy, and you're like, how could this possibly look black in the pan? And then you put it on your eyes and it's not black. So I do appreciate you, Beauty Bay, for staying true to color. Like the colors in the pan look the same way on the eye as they do in the pan, which is great. Although now I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, ooh, they are all kind of blending together. But is that not what we want when it comes to eyeshadow, is blending together? I feel like that I'm just word vomiting at you. I feel like that's been my new turn on my YouTube channel, is I just kind of word vomit chaos at you as if my channel's never been chaotic before. I'm switching to this really cool flat, like kind of square shaped brush here. I wish they had actual names on the brushes. Unfortunately they don't, but this is the only one in this dark fantasy set that looks like that. And I really like this one. I've used it 1 or 2 times before because I can carve with it. And as a graphic eyeshadow girly, that is just wonderful. Like look, I can literally stamp it, make my little lines. You can stamp it or you can drag it out to get your wing shape, which is so cool. Not many eyeshadow brushes you can do that with, you know, because usually eyeshadow brushes are meant for blending, which I'm sure you could with this one too. You could like turn it on the side. I'm gonna try that in a second, but I really like that this one allows me to carve out my graphic shapes. I went a little higher than I wanted it to, but it's okay because I can always clean it up with a Q-tip. That's what got me into doing graphic shapes. Like the first time I ever did graphic eyeshadow was by accident, and it's because I tried to blend out this eyeshadow look and I finished it and I tried blending and blending and blending and blending, and eventually, you know how when you just keep blending and blending and blending and all of a sudden it's all the way up to your eyebrow, and hey, that's a look sometimes. It was not in that scenario. So I went in with a Q-tip and I was cleaning it up, and by the time I cleaned it up, it was this graphic shape, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing on my eye shape. I have never felt more beautiful before. And yeah, that's how I got into graphic eyeshadow. Yeah, there we go. I think I needed to take it out just even further. Learning to work with your eye shape is like such a wonderful thing. Once I realized like I have almond shaped eyes, I believe that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, or don't correct me, because who really knows eye shapes? But you know, my eyes are a little bit on like the longer side, like they go out on each side. So I try to really play on that with my eyeshadow shapes and play on that length that I have of the eye, and I love taking my eyeshadow way out here. And this is a pretty precise eyeshadow brush, not as precise as my liner brushes, which is why I'll probably still go in with a little bit of a Q-tip, but definitely more precise than any other brush I've used before. Okay, let me go do my Q-tip magic and do the other eye, and I'll be right back. All right, we're all cleaned up with a Q-tip and everything. I did go into that shade Virtual a little bit and try to add some, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not a fan. I don't think it's a bad shade. I just think it's not suiting my purposes for the look I want right now. That shade I swatched for you earlier, it looks gorgeous, looked really gorgeous on the finger, but as I'm adding a little bit at a time, I'm like, it just looks like glitter fallout. It doesn't look like what I want it to look like. I'll definitely play with that shade in another look. Maybe I'll do like a dedicated smoky eye look with that, and I think it could suit us better because I'm becoming less anti-sequin as I grow and mature and understand makeup more. I'm definitely less anti-sequin shade than I used to be, but yeah, this is just not suiting my current purposes because like I mentioned at the beginning, I want to do something shimmery in the middle, and I don't want to look like I just have like shimmer fallout on the outside portion of the eye. So moving on to the shimmer halo eye portion of the look. Okay, but before I can go in with my shimmer, I am gonna use a little bit of a glitter primer, a shimmer primer, whatever you want to call it. This is from Carla Cosmetics. It's their Fix Potion, but this has quickly been replacing the Fear and Eye Pixie Epoxy for me, which, don't get me wrong, I still freaking love the Fear and Eye Pixie Epoxy, but it's good news for you guys because I know that that's sold out a lot. So if you want to check out the Carla Cosmetics Fix Potion, I feel like they work in a very similar way, where this also makes a great base for glitters and shimmers and pigments and all of that stuff. But what I like about the Carla Cosmetics one is it's so thin, like you don't feel sticky on your eyelids at all, which for those of you who have sensory issues, which I do too sometimes, like I feel like you will like this a lot better because it feels like you're just kind of dabbing like rubbing alcohol on your eyes, which maybe that's not the best comparison. I just mean like obviously it's alcohol based, but it doesn't burn, you know, my eyes or anything. It's just good stuff. I'm over explaining why I like this. Carla Cosmetics Fix Potion is me approved for sure. But anyway, now I just let it, you don't even really need to wait that long for it to dry down, which is amazing. And then you can just go right in with your shimmers and put them on top. So I think I want to dip into the shade Code. Oh, it's really light though. Is that gonna be too light? Should I do Code or Grime? Put them both on my fingers. Sometimes, you know, you gotta get your fingers into things. Ooh, okay, so Code is definitely giving a little bit more glittery. Like you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's looser pieces of shimmer on this finger, whereas this shade Grime is definitely more of a true metallic. Yeah, okay, Code is definitely giving more of like a glitter topper business, but is that what I want? I thought that was what I want, but now I'm seeing this like metallic gunmetal shade, and I'm like, I feel like that's more grunge. Okay, I'm going with my gut instinct, which is telling me Grime. I'm gonna go in with a small amount because I really want it to be more like a halo eye sort of situation. Oh, that is stunning. That is still so bright, even though it's a deeper shade. Going in with the light hand, see how the glitter adhesive just like, just grabs it. That Fix Potion was like, got it, got that sparkle for you. Thanks, Carla Cosmetics. Really trying to lightly dab because I don't want to cover the green at all. I still want you to see the green. I just want it to be sparkly because there is green shimmer, but I almost wish that they came out with like a shimmer shade that was even deeper. But this is doing the job. This is absolutely getting the job done for what I wanted for my eye look, and it's so pretty. And you know what? I'll take a little bit of that shade Code, the more sparkly one, and I feel like I can get away with this as a brow highlight. Yeah, because it's super sheer. It doesn't really have a gray base to it, unlike this shade Grime, which definitely has more of like a gunmetal gray base to it. whereas this shade Code is more of just like a clear, what I would think of like a sparkly topper. And I think it looks so pretty as a brow bone highlight. Yay! I'm so glad we got to use both. All right, as we move into the graphic liner portion of this look, I was just testing out this brush on the back of my hand, swatching it and whatnot. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't think it's worth me using this for the sake of the review, because I can tell it's gonna be too thick, and that's just my preference for the look I'm going for today. Look, I'll even go with a super light hand. I just feel like I don't have a lot of control with this brush. Like, I feel like you have to go so light to get the lines to be even a little thick. That was the first line I did. Like, it just, you can see how the brush kind of like flays out. I don't know if that's the right word to use. When you push down on the brush, it goes from being like this to like being like this. Like, it goes into like a V shape and gets wider. And that I'm getting the vibe that I'm not gonna like this brush, and I don't want to ruin the look because look at how pretty it is already. So sorry, Beauty Bay, I'm not gonna be using this brush today. So I'm gonna switch to one of my glisten brushes instead. I mean, can you just see the difference in the quality? I know people are always asking me for good, affordable options for graphic liner products. And when it comes to brushes, I would say if you don't want to get the glisten ones, which these are only like $6, I believe, with my discount code. Sorry to plug the code, Giovanna20 for 20% off Glisten Cosmetics. I think they're only $6 with my code, which I feel like is worth it for a fantastic brush like this. This is the Glisten number 4 brush. But if you want a good affordable option, look at nail art brushes because they're super thin. The only thing about the nail art brushes, I'll link my favorite set down below, is that they tend to fray a little quicker than the Glisten ones. Like, the Glisten ones are clearly made with more high quality fibers. But yeah, between this and this, it's really no comparison. There is no cheap dupe for this Glisten Cosmetics number 4 brush. So sorry about that, Beauty Bay. But okay, moving on to graphic liner. I'm dipping into this Glisten Cosmetics split liner called Mountain. It's a shimmery black and white. It's one of their newer shades. It's so cool. I used the shimmery black yesterday. It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna go in with the shimmery white, and I kind of want to make it look like neon because inevitably color theory is gonna take over and make this shimmery white shade look more like a lighter version of all of these shades because they're gonna mix together. That's just how the world works, you know? So I feel like it'll give a cool neon effect, and I like that this has a sheen to it. Probably not gonna talk through this part because I really gotta focus with my graphic liner, but maybe I'll do a fun voiceover or something. You gotta trust the process with this look, okay? We're going in with a rough outline, and I'm gonna go in with my second layer and make it look much more beautiful. Another thing you gotta remember to do between layers is if you're going for a look like this with this neon sort of look over the eyeshadow is to rinse your brush. Don't just dip back into the white because that eyeshadow will mix back in with this and it'll throw off your color. Okay, I'm switching to an even smaller, more precise brush. This is the Glisten Cosmetics number 2 brush, and it's about half the height of that number 4 brush, I would say, approximately, maybe 2/3 of the height, but I really want to get into that inner corner area with a smaller brush so I can make sure the thickness matches. I feel good about this. I could sit here and perfect it for another 2 hours, but I'm not going to do that to myself, so I'm just going to go do the other eye off camera and come right back. All right, folks, we are back. It has been like an hour because putting finishing touches on makeup always takes me freaking forever. I think in the last clip I said like I could keep going on this eyeliner trying to make it perfect, but I'm gonna stop. I didn't. I did not stop, viewer. I continued to perfect and perfect, but I feel like it looks pretty good, so I feel like the result was worth it. I added a little bit of liner on the lower lash line. I actually went with the matte version of the white. This is my first time using this white, and it's not that I don't like it, I'm just not sure it was the choice. I don't know, I feel like I could have went in with the matte white. I was having trouble building this one up. Maybe this shade is a little more sheer than I thought it was. I kind of just looked at it and was like, oh, that's an opaque shimmery white, having never swatched it before, so I don't think it's as opaque as my matte white, but I was able to build it up. The great thing about Glisten Cosmetics wet liners is that you can build them up without them cracking. Like, you have a good amount of layers. You can do like 4 layers before it starts to crack, and even if it does start to crack, my hot tip for you is to always just go in with a clean brush with some water, and you can take some of that product away and make the cracking go away. And then I went in with my my boyfriend's home. Oh my gosh. Then I went in with my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil and Milk on the lower lash line to just kind of tie it all together. And yeah, I hope you had fun with me here today. If you couldn't tell, I'm a huge huge fan of this palette. 10 out of 10 recommend it. I feel so inspired by this color story. I know I said I haven't been wearing as much eyeshadow lately, but I feel like now I have to do a purple smoky eye with this, and I have to use that sequin black shade because it's beautiful. It just wasn't right for this look. So you better subscribe if you haven't yet so you can see me use this again real soon. And I thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, do me a favor, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll ask again very humbly if you'll subscribe, because I post at least one new video a week, trying to get up to 2 again. We're getting back into that routine of YouTube, having a great time, but I've got like something like 200 plus videos on my channel. So if you just found me, boy are you, if you just found me and you like me, boy are you in luck, because I got plenty of videos for you to watch. Check out my description box for all of the makeup details of the makeup I used today and all the other makeup on my face, and also my description box, I'll have all of my social justice links for you to check out, so I highly recommend you check those out. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!